Welcome to this deep dive. And today we're exploring a concept that sounds a little bit like straight out of fantasy.
Right.
We're talking about chosen ones.
Yeah?
With like a hidden power waiting to be unlocked.
Yep.
But what if I told you that the source material claims that this isn't just fiction?
Yeah.
It actually lays out some real-world signs to look out for.
Yeah.
And explores how this power could impact the world.
Yeah.
The big question is, could you be one of these chosen ones?
What's really intriguing is that this source material,
Yeah.
it doesn't really depict chosen ones as like superheroes or mythical beings or anything like that.
Yeah.
It says they walk among us. Just everyday people from all walks of life. You might pass one on the street.
Right.
You might work with one.
Yeah.
Maybe even see one looking back at you in the mirror.
Okay, that's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
But definitely attention grabbing.
It is.
So if these chosen ones are like hiding in plain sight, what are the signs?
The signs. Does it say anything about like their personality or their background?
It mentions that a lot of them share this feeling of being an outsider for much of their lives. A lot of learners probably resonate with that, right?
Yeah.
And the source material also links this feeling of being different to a strong pull towards spirituality or metaphysics. And it's like they're kind of innately drawn to exploring the bigger questions about the universe and their place in it.
So it's not just about feeling different, it's about like actively seeking out.
Yeah, actively seeking out this knowledge that's
beyond the ordinary. But what about the power itself? Like what are we talking about here?
Yeah, exactly are we talking about here?
It gets a little mystical here, describing it as a connection to the creative force of the universe.
Okay.
But then it gets really interesting when it hints at the potential of this power.
Oh, right.
Think healing the sick with a touch.
Okay.
Manipulating the elements.
Hold on. Manipulating elements.
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
That's where it gets a bit vague.
Okay.
Doesn't go into specifics.
Yeah.
But it does say that this power is not meant for personal gain or selfish ambition. It's about serving a greater good.
Okay.
A cosmic purpose.
Right.
Which might explain why it's hidden in the first place.
Okay, so this hidden power sounds incredibly powerful, but also potentially dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Does the source material address that at all?
It does suggest that this power must be earned.
Okay.
That it only awakens in those deemed worthy by the universe. And it also implies that if the power manifested too early, it could be catastrophic.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like handing a toddler a chainsaw.
Exactly.
They wouldn't know how to handle it responsibly.
Yeah.
But how do you even earn a connection to the
That's a great question.
creative force of the universe?
Yeah.
Is it like a cosmic reward program?
Right.
Like you do good deeds and you get points?
It doesn't lay out a step-by-step guide or anything,
no.
but it hints that it's more about an inner transformation, a process of aligning oneself with the frequency of this universal force.
You mentioned creative force of the universe. Is that like a universal energy field or more of a spiritual?
So the source material uses this term symbiosis to describe the relationship between the chosen ones and this creative force. It's less about control and more about becoming a vessel. About surrendering to the flow of this energy rather than trying to like dominate it.
So it's not about having superpowers in the traditional sense, but about like tapping into something.
Tapping into something much
larger than oneself.
Larger than yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I think this concept of worthiness comes in.
Okay.
It's not about being morally perfect or having this flawless resume.
Yeah.
It's about aligning with the frequency of this creative force, which the source suggests requires certain qualities, like compassion, integrity, and a genuine desire to serve others.
Okay, that's starting to make more sense. But let's get back to the signs for a minute.
Okay, sure.
You mentioned a feeling of being an outsider and a pull towards spirituality.
Right.
Are there any more concrete signs that someone might experience? The source material gets surprisingly specific here, mentioning unusual sensations in the hands is a recurring theme. We're talking tingling, warmth, vibrations, things like that.
So tingling hands, is it constant, or does it happen at specific times?
It seems to vary between different chosen ones.
Right.
Some describe it as their hands having a mind of their own, which is both intriguing.
The mind their own? What does that mean? Like, any examples?
Yeah, so the source mentions a chosen one who, while completely untrained, could play the piano flawlessly.
Oh, wow.
Describing it as if their hands were guided by an unseen force.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just tingling. It's like almost like they're...
Yeah, it's almost like their body becomes an instrument for this creative energy to kind of express itself through. Okay, but are these hand sensations just random, or do they actually serve a purpose?
It suggests that they're often accompanied by early manifestations of the power. Almost like little tests.
Right.
Think easing someone's pain with a touch, or having like this sudden powerful intuition. That leads to a major life change.
So it's not just about feeling something weird in your hands.
Yeah, it's not just a physical sensation.
The sensations coinciding with seemingly impossible things happening around you.
Exactly.
That's a pretty compelling
thing. It is. And these early manifestations often serve as a catalyst for the chosen one's awakening, prompting them to question their reality and seek answers beyond conventional explanations.
So let's say someone is experiencing some of these signs and they think, whoa, maybe I am a chosen one. What's next?
Right. Good question.
Is it all sunshine and miracles from there?
Not quite.
Okay.
While the potential of this power is incredible, the source makes it clear that it's not an easy path.
Okay, so there's a catch.
There are.
Honestly, it makes it even more believable.
Right.
Nothing worthwhile comes easy.
Exactly.
So what kind
And the source frames these challenges as tests. Essential steps in the process of like earning and mastering this power. It's about proving worthy not just to the universe, but to oneself.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
We've got these chosen ones with this hidden power that they have to earn. And it sounds like it's not a walk in the park.
No, it's not.
But I'm curious, what about the rest of us?
Yeah.
Those of us who don't have the tingling hands or the prophetic dreams, are we just...
That's a good question.
Bystanders in this whole cosmic play?
Not at all. The source material makes it clear that everyone has a role to play, even if they're not a chosen one.
So even if I don't have mystical powers, I can still contribute...
You absolutely can.
...to this whole awakening thing. But how?
The source emphasizes that by raising our own vibration. Things like cultivating compassion, pursuing personal growth, and acting for the greater good. We all contribute to a more favorable environment for these chosen ones to awaken and step into their power.
So it's like we're all part of a giant support system.
Yeah, it is.
Even if we don't
realize it. Yeah.
Our actions, our intentions, our choices all have an impact on this bigger picture.
And that's where things get really interesting because the source suggests that the more people who awaken to their own potential, whether they possess this hidden power or not, the faster this collective evolution unfolds.
Okay, so imagine a world where these chosen ones have fully embraced their power and are using it for good. What does that look like?
Yeah, it paints this picture.
Does the source paint a picture of that?
A world with miraculous healings, restored ecosystems, and a global shift in consciousness.
That sounds pretty utopian.
It does.
But wouldn't that kind of power also tempt people to take control? To impose their vision of good on others?
That's a good point.
Does the source address that kind of conflict?
It does, and that's where this concept of service becomes crucial. Remember, this power is meant to be used for the greater good, not for personal gain or control. The source even mentions a chosen one who used their power anonymously to solve a global food shortage.
Wow.
That's the level of impact.
That's interesting.
What are you talking about?
Example. So it's not just about...
And it reinforces this idea that...
having the power. It's about the fame and attention behind it.
Or personal gain.
The source seems to be saying that true power lies in using your gifts to empower others, not to
control them.
Control them.
Yeah.
But how do we get to that utopian future? It sounds like it hinges on the chosen ones making the right choices.
Yeah, it's not a guaranteed happy ending.
What if they falter? or worse, succumb to the temptation of using their power for selfish reasons.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And the source acknowledges that the path of the chosen one is fraught with challenges and temptations.
Yeah. This is getting intense.
It is.
But before we move on, is there anything else from the source material that you think is crucial for
I think the key takeaway
our listeners to understand at this point
is that even if you don't identify as a chosen one, you're not powerless. Your choices, your actions, your intentions all matter in this grand cosmic scheme. The source material suggests that by cultivating your own potential for love, compassion, and service, you're contributing to the awakening
So we all have
of others and the evolution of humanity as a whole.
a part to play,
We do.
whether we have superpowers or not.
Exactly.
That's pretty empowering.
It is.
It makes you think, what kind of world could we create if we all tapped into that potential?
And that's a question worth pondering.
Yeah.
As we continue our exploration.
In
the next part, we'll delve deeper into the specific challenges and responsibilities faced by those who carry this hidden power. And how those challenges ultimately shape their destiny. And the destiny of humanity itself.
Listeners, buckle up.
Buckle up.
This deep dive is about to get even more fascinating.
Absolutely.
So, welcome back to our deep dive into the world of chosen ones and their hidden power. In the last part, we explored the signs, the nature of the power, and how even those without it have a role to play. But it sounds like there's a lot more to this than just discovering you have special abilities.
Absolutely. It's not like winning the cosmic lottery and suddenly everything's easy. The source material really emphasizes that this journey of awakening is an ongoing process, full of challenges and responsibilities.
So it's not like those movies where someone gets bitten by a radioactive spider and boom, instant superhero.
Definitely not. It's more like being given a really powerful tool, like a Stradivarius violin, and then having to spend years mastering it, learning to play it beautifully without, shattering the delicate strings.
Okay, I like that analogy. It highlights the idea of control, of learning to wield this power responsibly. What kind of specific challenges do these chosen ones face?
Well, one of the biggest challenges the source material highlights is the temptation to misuse the power. It's not necessarily about, choosing to be evil or anything like that, but about succumbing to very human desires for control, recognition, or personal gain.
So it's like that classic dilemma, power corrupts. Does the source offer any examples of how a chosen one might misuse their power?
Yeah, it mentions a chosen one who could heal others, but became kind of obsessed with fame and fortune, charging exorbitant fees for their services and manipulating people for personal gain. It's a cautionary tale about how easily ego can distort even the purest intentions.
That's a sobering thought. It reminds us that even with extraordinary abilities, we're still human, susceptible to the same weaknesses and temptations. But how do these chosen ones resist those temptations? How do they stay on the right path?
The source material emphasizes the importance of cultivating inner strength, discipline, and a really deep sense of purpose. It's about constantly reminding oneself why they were chosen, what their gifts are meant to be used for, and the positive impact they can have on the world.
So it's about having a clear vision, a sort of guiding principle that keeps them focused on the bigger picture, even when those selfish impulses creep in.
Exactly. It's like a compass that constantly points them towards true north, even when the storms of temptation are raging all around them.
But isn't that a lot to put on one person's shoulders? The fate of the world resting on their ability to resist temptation?
That's why the source material also highlights the importance of support systems. It's not a solo mission. Chosen ones need guidance, mentorship, and a community of like-minded individuals who understand the challenges they face. It even suggests that connecting with people who don't have the power is crucial to stay grounded and connected to the human experience.
So it's about building a diverse network, surrounding themselves with people who can offer different perspectives and keep them balanced. It makes sense that isolation could be a real danger for someone with this kind of power.
Absolutely. The source even uses the term symbiosis to describe the relationship between chosen ones and their support network. It's a two-way street. The chosen ones need guidance and support, but their presence also elevates and inspires those around them.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. It's not just about the chosen ones saving the world. It's about a collective effort, everyone contributing their unique gifts and perspectives. But let's talk about the impact on the world a bit more. We touched on the utopian vision in the last part, But the source also mentioned challenges, right? Not everyone is going to be thrilled about these chosen ones and their abilities, are they?
Right. That's another major challenge the source addresses. The potential for misunderstanding, fear, and even persecution from those who don't understand or believe in their abilities.
It's like the classic trope of the misunderstood hero. But in this case, it's not just a fictional storyline. It's a real possibility with real-world consequences.
Exactly. The source mentions a chosen one who could manipulate energy and use it to prevent a natural disaster. But instead of being hailed as a hero, they were accused of witchcraft and ostracized from their community.
Wow, that's a heartbreaking example. It really highlights the fear of the unknown, how easily people can turn against those who are different, even if their intentions are good. How are chosen ones supposed to deal with that kind of negativity?
The source suggests it requires a delicate balance of discernment, courage, and compassion. It's about choosing wisely who to trust and confide in, having the courage to stand up for what they believe in, and responding to negativity with understanding and love, rather than fear or anger.
That sounds like a tough tightrope to walk. It's one thing to resist temptation from within, but it's another to face doubt, fear, and even hostility from the outside world.
It's a crucial part of their journey. The source frames these external challenges as opportunities for growth, for developing resilience, and learning to navigate a world that doesn't always understand or appreciate their gifts.
So it's not just about mastering their powers, it's about mastering themselves, learning to stay grounded and compassionate in the face of adversity.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that they are not separate from the world, but a part of it, and that their actions have a ripple effect. The choices they make, how they respond to challenges, ultimately shapes not only their destiny, but the destiny of those around them.
Okay, we've talked about the internal challenges, the external challenges. Is there anything else from the source material that you think is crucial for understanding the chosen ones and their journey?
Yes, I think it's important to highlight the concept of integration. The source emphasizes that it's not enough to simply awaken to their power. They must also learn how to wield it effectively and responsibly in the context of their daily lives, their relationships, their work.
So it's not about living a double life, being a superhero by night and a regular person by day.
Not quite. It's about finding a way to weave their extraordinary abilities into the fabric of their ordinary lives in a way that enhances their humanity and allows them to serve others more effectively.
It's almost like they have to learn to be super at being human. But how does that even work? Does the source offer any practical advice?
It suggests that this process of integration is often one of trial and error, of learning to modulate their power and channel it in ways that are both effective and appropriate. For example, a chosen one who can heal might not necessarily announce their gift to the world, but instead choose to work as a doctor or a therapist, subtly using their abilities to enhance their practice.
Ah, that makes sense. It's about using their powers in a way that aligns with their skills and passions, rather than trying to force them into a preconceived mold of what a chosen one should be.
Exactly. And the source suggests that this process of integration is not just about finding a practical application for their powers, it's also about integrating them into their relationships, their emotional lives, their sense of self.
So it's not just about what they do with their powers, it's about who they become as a result of having them.
Precisely. And that leads us to another fascinating aspect of their journey, the role of relationships in the lives of the chosen ones.
Okay, that's a great question. I'm curious to hear what the source material has to say about that. Do these extraordinary abilities make it harder to form meaningful connections with others?
The source actually suggests that relationships play a vital role in the chosen one's journey, both as a source of support and a catalyst for growth. It highlights the unique challenges and rewards of relationships for those who possess this hidden power.
So it's not like they're destined to be lone wolves wandering the earth and solving problems in solitude.
Not at all. The source emphasizes the importance of connection, both with those who share their abilities and those who don't. It suggests that relationships serve as both a mirror and a crucible for the chosen ones, helping them see themselves more clearly, refine their character, and learn the true meaning of love and compassion.
So relationships aren't just a distraction from their mission, they're actually an integral part of it. That makes sense. Having a support system is crucial when you're dealing with the kind of challenges we've been discussing.
Exactly. And the source highlights the importance of finding those rare individuals who can see past the extraordinary abilities and connect with the heart and soul of the chosen one.
That sounds like a tall order. How do they even find those people? Are there support groups for chosen ones? Dating apps for people with superpowers?
The source doesn't get that specific, but it does suggest that these connections can be found in the most unexpected places, often with people who are seemingly ordinary, but possess an extraordinary capacity for love, understanding, and acceptance.
So it's about looking beyond appearances and connecting with the essence of another being. That's a beautiful message. But it also raises a question, what about romantic relationships? Does the source say anything about the challenges of dating when you're a chosen one?
It does. It acknowledges the difficulties of finding a partner who can truly understand and accept their extraordinary abilities. On the other hand, their heightened sensitivity and compassion can make them incredibly loving and supportive partners. It's a complex dynamic.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act. It's one thing to share your secret identity with someone you care about, but it's another to integrate your powers into the very fabric of your relationship. Does the source offer any advice for navigating those complexities?
It emphasizes the importance of open communication trust and a willingness to be vulnerable. It also suggests that choosing a partner who shares their values, their commitment to service, and their vision for a better world is crucial. In essence, it's about finding someone who complements their strengths and supports their growth, both as a chosen one and as a human being.
It's a powerful reminder that even with extraordinary abilities, the fundamentals of healthy relationship remain the same: trust, communication, and shared values.
Exactly. And the source suggests that when those foundations are strong, the challenges of being a chosen one can actually strengthen the bond between two people, creating a deeper sense of intimacy and shared purpose. It's about finding someone who can be your partner not just in life, but in your mission.
So even though this journey can be incredibly challenging, it's not a path of isolation. It's about finding your tribe, building a support system, and creating meaningful connections that nourish your soul and empower you to fulfill your destiny.
And that brings us to the crux of the matter. The integration of the chosen one's powers into their life isn't just about practicality or responsibility. It's about becoming a more complete human being, a more evolved expression of themselves. It's about using their gifts not to separate themselves from the world, but to engage with it more deeply and authentically.
It's a powerful reminder that even with extraordinary abilities, the journey of the chosen one is ultimately a human journey full of the same joys, sorrows, challenges, and triumphs that we all experience.
Indeed. And that leads us to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore the implications of this phenomenon for the future of humanity and the planet.
Okay, listeners, stay tuned. We're about to explore the biggest picture yet: the role of chosen ones in shaping the destiny of humankind. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of chosen ones. We've covered a lot of ground so far, from the signs and challenges to the crucial role of relationships and the potential impact these individuals could have. Now, I'm really curious to explore the biggest question of all. What does this all mean for humanity as a whole?
That's where things get really exciting. The source material goes beyond just individual stories and hints at a much larger, almost evolutionary shift happening. Remember, it emphasizes that this creative force isn't exclusive to the chosen ones. It flows through all of us. They're just tapping into it in a more concentrated way.
So are you saying we all have the potential to be like these chosen ones, just maybe not to the same extent? Does that mean humanity is evolving like on a cosmic scale?
That's the implication, and it's a pretty radical one. The source material suggests that as more chosen ones awaken and step into their power, their energy creates a ripple effect, raising the vibration of the entire planet and accelerating our collective evolution.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Are we talking about some kind of mass awakening where everyone suddenly develops telekinesis or something?
It's not about everyone suddenly gaining superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
The source suggests it's more subtle than that. Imagine a world where qualities like intuition, empathy, and compassion become more commonplace. A world where we're more connected to each other, to nature, and to something larger than ourselves.
So instead of physical powers, it's more about an evolution of consciousness, a shift in how we perceive and interact with the world around us. But what would trigger such a massive shift?
The source suggests that the chosen ones act as catalysts, accelerating this process simply by being who they are and using their powers for good. Think of it like a chain reaction. As they awaken, their energy inspires others to awaken to their own potential, even if it's not on the same scale.
So it's not about them leading a revolution or imposing their will on the world. It's about them being living examples of what's possible, showing us a glimpse of a more evolved future.
Exactly. And as more people tap into that potential, even in small ways, it creates a collective momentum that can shift the entire paradigm of human consciousness.
Okay, this is huge. We're not just talking about individual transformations, we're talking about a paradigm shift for humanity. But honestly, part of me is skeptical. Is this kind of global awakening even realistic? And what about all the problems in the world right now? War, poverty, environmental destruction. Can this evolution of consciousness really solve those issues?
That's a valid question, And the source material doesn't shy away from the challenges. It acknowledges that this kind of transformation won't happen overnight and that there will be resistance, setbacks, and even conflict along the way. But it also presents a compelling argument that our current trajectory, based on separation, competition, and fear, is unsustainable.
So it's not about ignoring the problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about recognizing that we need a fundamentally different approach if we want to create a better future.
Exactly. The source material suggests that the awakened chosen ones, with their heightened awareness and connection to the creative force, can offer a new way of being, a new model for interacting with the world and with each other.
But how exactly does that translate into practical solutions? Can a shift in consciousness really heal a polluted planet or stop a war?
The source material points to historical examples where a shift in collective consciousness has led to profound societal change. The abolition of slavery, the civil rights movement, the fall of the Berlin Wall, these were all movements fueled by a change in hearts and minds, a collective awakening to a new reality. And that's what the chosen ones are here to help us achieve on a global scale.
Okay. I can see how their influence could be a catalyst for change, but it still feels like a huge leap. It's one thing to change people's minds, it's another to change the systems and structures that perpetuate these problems.
That's where the concept of symbiosis comes back into play. The source material emphasizes that the chosen ones are not meant to be saviors or lone heroes. They're part of a larger ecosystem, working in collaboration with those who don't possess their abilities, but share their vision for a better world.
So it's about a collective effort with the chosen ones playing a specific role, but not carrying the burden alone. What would that collaboration look like in practice? Does the source offer any examples?
It mentions a chosen one who could manipulate energy working with a team of scientists to develop a new source of clean energy. They each brought their unique skills and perspectives to the table, resulting in a breakthrough that could potentially transform the world's energy landscape.
That's a great example of how their abilities can be amplified through collaboration. It's not about them dictating solutions, but about working together to find innovative ways to solve problems.
Exactly. And the source suggests that this kind of collaboration extends beyond the realm of technology and science. It mentions chosen ones working with artists, educators, community leaders, anyone who is committed to using their gifts to create a more just, compassionate, and sustainable world.
So it's about tapping into the collective intelligence and creativity of humanity, with the chosen ones acting as catalysts, inspiring and empowering others to contribute their unique talents and perspectives.
Precisely. And the source suggests that as this collaboration deepens and expands, it creates a powerful synergy that can accelerate our collective evolution, leading to solutions that we can't even imagine right now.
Okay, this is starting to paint a pretty exciting picture. It's not about some magical overnight transformation. It's about a gradual but powerful shift that happens as more and more people awaken to their potential and choose to contribute to a greater good.
And that brings us to the most important question of all. What role can each of us play in this unfolding drama?
Yeah, even if we're not chosen ones, how can we contribute to this collective awakening and help create this better future? Does the source offer any guidance on that?
It does. And the message is surprisingly simple. It starts with ourselves.
So it's not about waiting for someone else to save the day. It's about taking responsibility for our own lives, our own choices, our own impact on the world.
Exactly. The source material suggests that by cultivating our own potential for love, compassion, and service, by making conscious choices that align with our values, and by radiating that positive energy outwards, we're all contributing to the collective awakening, even if we don't realize it.
So it's like those random acts of kindness that we hear about. They might seem insignificant in the moment, but they all add up to create a more positive and compassionate world.
Precisely. And the source suggests that as more people embrace this approach, as we shift our focus from self-interest to service, from fear to love, and from separation to unity, we create the conditions for a more just, sustainable, and fulfilling future for all.
So even though we've been talking about chosen ones with extraordinary abilities, the message seems to be that we all have a choice. To make a choice to awaken to our own potential, to contribute to something bigger than ourselves, and to be part of a movement that's shaping a brighter future for humanity.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it's a choice we face every day in every interaction and every decision we make. The source material suggests that even the smallest acts of kindness, compassion, and courage can have a ripple effect contributing to the collective awakening and accelerating our evolution towards a more conscious and interconnected way of being.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. But it's also incredibly inspiring to think that we all have the power to contribute to something so much bigger than ourselves. To be part of a movement that's transforming the world is truly empowering.
It is, and it reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, there is always hope. As long as there are individuals who are willing to awaken to their true potential, who choose love over fear, unity over separation, and service over self-interest, the future of humanity remains bright.
And on that note of hope and possibility, we come to the end of our deep dive. It's been an incredible journey, exploring the mysteries of chosen ones, their hidden powers, and the profound implications for the future of our species.
I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to contemplate your own unique role in this unfolding story. Whether you identify as a chosen one or not, you possess the power to make a difference. Embrace your potential, cultivate your inner light, and contribute to the collective awakening that's shaping a brighter future for all.
Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary exploration. Until next time, keep growing and keep shining your light.